Price, I'm the new head football coach here at Concord University. I've been at the university now for 7 years. It's been 7 very good years for me. It seems like we were, one good year after another. We've been able to have, an encore every year and do something that we felt good about. And it's been a very exciting time. I think I would be derelict in my duties if I didn't thank a few people right up front, because I wouldn't be standing here without the success of those people. Tony Colabro, the old chief is getting up there in age now, but he still comes to a practice now and again. And, I've always enjoyed his company. See Coach Mullet out there at the practice field once in a while. He's big. Mike Keller, who hired me 7 years ago, and I've got an awful lot of respect for him. Of course, Garen Justice, who's been with me here for the past 7 years, just a few days ago. And, I've learned so much from that guy. You wouldn't think somebody necessarily my age would learn from somebody that young, but it's amazing what you can learn when you give yourself a chance to do it. And he left this program in very good shape. There's always things that you're going to have to work on. There's always aspects of a football program that can be improved, even at the stage where we are now. But it is a very, very viable working situation, which we feel we can get back on top of the league as quick as even next year. So we feel real good about the situation. I'm sure you guys may have some questions and lead me down the path, and I'll just start filling you in on where we're going with this program and to get into more detail of it. Any questions right now that you might have? Yes, sir.
Do you plan to retain defensive coordinator duties as well?
Well, no, I do not. A guy that's worked with me for 4 years, Pat Dawson, will do the defensive coordinator duties. I am not going to let anything very far from underneath my thumb, so I'll be working with him, hand in hand. But I'll be spending a lot of the time, especially in the spring, I think, with my offensive staff on the premise that they're new, and I want to. I've been with the defense. I know we're going to do it. We basically wrote the playbook together there. And in offense, we're going to have to spend more time there, I think, as the head coach of the defense.
When you found out that Garen was leaving and taking that job at FAU, did you immediately go to Kevin and say, I want this job and I want it now?
Well, I wouldn't say immediately. It was probably, 40 minutes, Kevin? Something of that nature.
I think it was closer to 35.
It was kind of funny. I turned in a package of information to him, basically the next day or so. I was in such a haste, I made some mistakes, and I went back and get it off him. That's how fast it was at that point. But Coach Justice, he has a great pedigree as a coach. He's coached under some great people. He's done great things here. Coached here a couple times, conference championships. So his time, if he wanted to move on, it was going to happen, and it was inevitable. And when that did happen, I've been kind of preparing myself to have an opportunity to do this. So it's been a little bit of a process for me, through the years. So it's I was excited about the possibility, but I also know how many good coaches there are out there, and I think that Coach Garrett did it the right way. And sitting down with Dr. Bogus yesterday, we really do see eye to eye in a lot of ways, and I've really become a Concord man, I think, when it comes to developing into a philosophy and what I believe in is an awful lot of what this university is about.
You're one of the last guys remaining from that turnaround.
Well, there's one more, believe it or not. He was Kevin Elliott, who played for us. He was a junior when we got here 7 years ago, and has been on our staff as a graduate assistant, part-time guy, and now he's a full-time guy. So there was one more Mohegan that was there before I was. There aren't many left, and the good news is they all went on to do pretty good stuff. Everybody that left here left the program in great shape and went on and had been doing good things in a lot of good places. So it's a win-win, I think.
For you, though, knowing you came here when the program was 0-10, you helped turn it around. Is it kind of, you feel like you want to keep that going after seeing where? Oh,
absolutely. I talked to Coach Justice last night, and he said the torch is passed, and I said, on my watch, we're not going to try to duplicate what you did. We're going to try to do a little bit better, and that's such a tall order. That might keep me busy till retirement. But yes, I do take a lot of pride in what went on here, and I think everybody does. It's not just a coach or a player thing. It runs, through the entire staff, and even cafeteria workers and things. They get to know our players, and people take a lot of pride in the football program here. And I think that the opportunity that was given to us 7 years ago has really translated into, people are appreciative of a good football program because it was down at that time and they were missing one. And sometimes you don't know what you have till it's gone, and I think that was the case here.
Taking over a 5-5 team that, a lot of people said underachieved from last year. Is that motivation for you and this coaching staff?
Oh, absolutely. People say, well, what went wrong? And not that much, but what did? You got to find and fix. And I think a lot of it extends right into just more detailed practice. We lost a little bit of our competitive edge. And I'm not talking, about falling apart. I'm talking about losing some very close games, late in the fourth quarter. So we plan on, competing this spring, and we're not going to do anything tremendously new. All things that Coach Justice has done in the past, but we're going to just do it a little bit better, and we think we have a lot of pieces in place right now.
Coach, what lessons from your last head coaching position you carried to this?
Tons, and that's one thing that it's a very short paragraph in my letter of application. It refers to what went on at West Virginia Tech about 20 years ago, and the bottom line is that wasn't a football program. That was just, I was just kind of a one-man band, and I wasn't an orchestra. Here, there was an orchestra. There's people that you can rely on to get everything done, from the training room to the, through the office upstairs, where you can, just get a bunch of things done. And when I took the job at Tech, the athletic director, the main reason I went there, Terry Rupert at the time, he left 4 months after I got there and kind of left me, on an island, and it was just tough to accomplish. Now, we made gains in all kind of ways, but wins and losses never happened, and when that doesn't occur, they look for another coach. But that's what went on. But all kind of different things. A lot of the assistant coaches I had down there are still coaching today, are my friends. Some of them at the Division I level, which is kind of, I always go to their games when we finish playing in November, December. They have a game or two afterwards to go see them. And so it was a very rewarding experience for a lot of ways. One of the guys who played for me is a Colonel Marine Corps now. Stuff like that you remember for forever. But yeah, it was definitely enlightening to come here and see how things were supposed to be done as opposed to how they were done there. Yes, sir?
Going back to last year, defensively, you had a lot of highs and lows, and you had a lot of influential seniors. How do you replace a guy like Cade Rogers or an Austin Dotson?
You pray a lot, I think, to tell me. But no, I mean, Cade was an academic All-American, and Austin is to this day maybe the toughest linebacker that I've ever had a pleasure to work with. It's not going to be easy, but the thing about last year's team, I think, was we had some other holes that those linebackers, kept us ahead of. And now I think we've got to rely more, some of the defensive front, and especially maybe the secondary, to overlap there. But the recruiting process helps you with that. And we may get a junior college guy that's a little older right now to fill in. But we do have some guys at the linebacker spot that are, I tell you what, they're very, very hungry. They see the opportunity. When you get that going in a college level, where a guy, has had to play behind somebody for a year or two, and then it becomes open. There's some motivated people there that I think are going to make a big difference.
And not long ago, before signing day, what's one of the big challenges you look forward to seeing in the next couple of weeks before?
Well, we are behind. There's no denying it with recruiting, but we've got all the names, we've got all the contacts. We've got visits lined up like everybody else. I think that the naming of a new coach at an institution is always an exciting time. So we're going to try to parlay that excitement into a great recruiting class. And it's we're getting over in Roanoke and a little bit in the Carolinas and upstate Virginia, around DC. We've got some people, and see if we can land them and get them into our house and make this thing happen.
What's your opinion on how you've seen the recruiting game grow, not just from your time at Tech, but also your time at Wesleyan?
The recruiting game has changed, quite a bit. I think with the mass media, the way things get out now, you got to be in that game a little bit to make it happen. But the kids, I say the kids haven't changed much. The parents have changed a lot now. Let me tell you that. So things are different. But when you sit in this room with the mom, dad, and the kid, and you sell the school, You know, it's still somebody who has a passion for the game, somebody who cares about their academic world, you know, somebody who has high character that's going to put the time they need to in here to make a difference. And when that happens, you know, that's the magic of recruiting, you know. And that's, you know, a lot of times Woody Hayes said it, you know, 30 years ago. You tell mom, you know, the kid will go where she, you know, where she tells him to go to. And a lot of the things we do here are, you know, old school. We care about a kid. We're going to make you go to class. You know, there's things, you know, again, character and behavior-wise that we follow up on and develop the young man, not just the football player. And I think that really does have an impact on your recruiting.
How much of the current coaching staff are you going to retain, or are you going to kind of?
Well, I'm retaining everybody that's here, let's put it that way. The defensive side seems to be there, and a couple of graduate assistants on offense. It's the offensive coordinator and probably our offensive line coach. There are some different combinations of which we could work, but those are the two that we'll be seeking. You know, nobody, people leave a sinking ship pretty quickly, but when things are going well, you don't get a lot of people jumping off. This is a good place to be, especially for my coaches that are younger than I am. And like I said, everybody that's left Concord has gotten a real good job. So retention part is not very hard. They're excited about what they're doing, and you know, the ability, say, for Coach Dawson to go from a defensive line coach to a coordinator is exciting for him. So I got a lot of excited young players and young coaches, so I'm excited about it myself.